We have volunteers that come in and sort the clothing. We have a devotion with the volunteers. And then at 10:30 we let the people from the neighborhood come in and they come and choose anything they would like, whether it be clothing or household goods.
Bedding, dishes.
We see it as a half and half piece, that we're here to help this community, but we're also here to help Christians fulfill what their job description is supposed to be. Someone from a suburban church wouldn't likely just walk down here on their own.
You're here on Munjoy Hill, walking through the East End, and you can see just about anything you want to see, or you can ignore anything you want to ignore.
I live in a rough neighborhood, actually. A lot of killing, a lot of stabbings, a lot of drugs.
You should rate your church this way too, that if you pull your organization out of a place, what kind of hole would it leave? One former sheriff of the county told me at a breakfast that the Root Cellar is the best police department that Munjoy Hill ever had.
This wasn't a place you would walk, really. It just seemed scary. There was a lot of drug activity, domestic violence, and then the Root Cellar helped start a crime watch, and it really has changed the way this area looks.
If you introduce yourself as being from the Root Cellar, that immediately anybody's guard will come down and it'll be like they're your friend. The Root Cellar is primarily a volunteer organization. We have a small staff, and so what we do is we coordinate the volunteers, and that's one of the purposes that we see, not only to bring shalom into the community and help people get a hand up, whether it be food, clothing, medical, dental, ESL, but then we want to help them get jobs. We do that with volunteers. We have about 200 regular volunteers.
Retired from being a missionary overseas, signed up to be a volunteer, did a little training program. I knew there were people from other countries that came here, special people that are uncomfortable with us at first, and our volunteers often a bit uncomfortable with them at first, but we've grown to appreciate each other. They've come to trust us. We've come to understand them better.
We meet needs of the community, and especially when our refugees come in that have left everything behind.
A friend of mine had told me about this guy that likes to work on cars.
I've been in Portland 5 years right now.
And he came into my office and took off his leg and handed it to me.
The first time I came here, I joined a Root Cellar group.
He showed me this limb that was covered in duct tape and had been bound out in places. He said that it was getting to the point where he was going to have to be in his wheelchair because the prosthetic was 10 years old.
I met a lot of friends down there. They helped me a lot.
He didn't have insurance because he couldn't work anymore because he's a truck driver, and pushing in the clutch caused him great pain.
First of all, they helped me to get my new artificial leg.
Since he got his leg, we went through the process of recertifying him with his CDL, so now he's working full-time.
The second one, they helped him to get my kids back from Africa.
Because he's working full-time, he was able to petition the United States to have his children come join him in the US. Last month, they arrived.
This sister of mine here is my daughter. I left her, she was 3 years old. This guy here, his name is Mark. I left him back home, he was 8 months old. Now he's 13 years. Right now, I'm with my kids, I feel very happy.
If I was to summarize what Root Cellar does best, I would say it's that they make people feel like they have family here. And that includes our local neighbors.
Oh, Root Cellar. Yeah, I like this. Help me for my job, help my family. I make bread here, the oven. It's named Tandoori.
And O'Day, when he came and I met him and I heard his stories, my husband and I would go over and we'd have dinner with them, and they'd talk about their child being shot in front of them. And we have no idea how to relate to these people, but we can love them. And I think we do that really well here.
That's not by mistake, that's by our submission to Jesus. That's really all the credit we can take